Hi guys, welcome to the channel, and today we'll be talking about clones of Gravity Falls. Considering Gravity Falls is one of the greatest animated shows of this generation, it comes to no surprise that many have hoped to cash in on it. Whether these are rival networks or on the same network, there are those who have tried to recreate the success of it to no avail, and there are those who are drumming up attention in their various lanes. So today I have picked a few shows which have been heavily linked at one time or another to Gravity Falls. Now before we watch this video, please subscribe and remember that all these shows are great and have things about them that make them stand out. Because of how good Gravity Falls was though, a lot of comparisons were inevitable. And I'm not saying that these shows are bad or they're bland or that they're carbon copies of Gravity Falls, but I am saying that at some time or another they were heavily linked to it. At number one, we probably have the biggest show of this year, the most successful animated show of this year in terms of popularity. Owl House has seemed to have taken the world by storm and seems to be the next big thing in terms of the animated shows. And believe it or not, right now, I think that the hype behind it right now is even bigger than the Rick and Morty one. I'm just kidding. Released at the very beginning of the year, Owl House has done a very good job in attracting the same demographic that was so heavily invested in Gravity Falls due to its mystery and fantasy aspects. The series is about a girl, Luz, who finds the portal to a demonic realm inhabited by various creatures. While there, she becomes an apprentice to Ida, a witch who she befriends so that she can learn magic and become a witch. The storytelling in this show was very, very good, and the world building in this is one of the best that I've ever seen. In this world, we have so many fantastical creatures that are just insane, and some that you would never even think to be placed in a show. Also, Gravity Falls creator Alex Hurst is very involved in this show, as he actually voices one of the main characters, King. I just want to say that this show, even though it's so big and so popular right now, I haven't really gotten into it. I haven't really gone onto the bandwagon and started watching this show. We'll start watching it. I will start watching it soon. And number two on the list, we have Star versus the Forces of Evil. Now, this is easily my favorite show on this list. And actually, in the past, 3 years, this has been my favorite animated show just because of everything. I love the animation. I love the characters. I love everything about this show. I could go on and on and on and on about why this show is so fantastic. This is seriously one of the best shows I've ever watched. This is a show that can be funny one moment and then the next give you an emotional, heartfelt moment that will stick with you forever, or at least until you're done watching. But the characters in this show are so relatable, and I think that's another reason a lot of people have gravitated towards it. The show focuses on Star Butterfly, a princess next to the throne for Mumi, who has been sent to Earth to learn how to control her magical powers. So she's sent to live with this American-Mexican family, the Diazes. And while there, she forms a nice partnership with Marco Diaz. And they just have lots of adventures. The show is very suspenseful. It's very good in the lore and the world building. There's so many Easter eggs in it. They drop little hints here and there. And I just absolutely love the show. Again, I said I can go on and on. I definitely have to make a video about this very soon. It's just awesome. If you haven't seen this show, stop watching this video, stop everything you're doing and check it out. We have Ludo. We also have one of my favorite villains of all time. I just forgot his name, the guy with the slick back hair. Favorite hero of all time. He's so good at playing his part, and this show is just perfect. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. And once again, it is a lot like Gravity Falls in a lot of ways, in the world, in the fantasy aspect. That is, we have a lot of these mystical creatures. We have demons in this. We have bullfrog people, even the people of Mumi. We have monsters and lots of other things that just make this show a joy to watch. So again, for the 100th time, if you haven't watched it, please go and check this show out. It'll absolutely change your life. Now let's move on to the last show of the day, and that is Amphibia. This is a show that was released last year, June, and it has slowly started to pick up steam. I, for one, have started watching this show more recently, and it's actually a pretty good show. I have only positive things for it. And the show took the cliche of a teenager ended up in a mystical land and put a nice touch to it. We have the plot in this girl. I can't believe I literally forgot her name, but I have. And she falls inside a box that transports her to another land filled with frog people. Anne. Her name is Anne. Her name is Anne. So we have a story about Anne, and she is transported to another land that is the mystical land of the frog people. And from there, she tries to fit in while wondering why she got there and where her friends are, because two other people fell in with her. So the show takes you on the journey with Anne as she tries to go through her day-to-day transactions with the frog people, while the show also clicks back to her two friends. So it shows little snippets throughout of how her friends are faring. And I think this is a really good part, especially in building suspense. And I think this is a part that it took from Gravity Falls because it does so well at it. We have one-off episodes, a lot of one-off episodes in season 1 especially. I just focus on normal stuff like Anne and Polly going to the spa and Paw running for mayor. But then we also have episodes that build the timeline, and that's a continuity, such as showing one of Anne's friends with the frog people, the toad people at the castle. And one of my favorite things about this show is how heavily connected it is to Gravity Falls. Special trivia coming up that they actually have an episode that centers around Grunkle Frog. You know, Grunkle Stan, but as a frog. And they also have a character called Frog Seuss, which I think is an awesome touch and an awesome note to the ones who came before. That is Gravity Falls, which have really set the pace for how an animated series should conduct itself, a mystery animated series. Before I go, I actually wanted to list a few shows who have done the same thing and that you can compare to Gravity Falls. And that's Welcome to the Wing, actually one of my favorite shows, and I did make a video on it, one of my worst and oldest videos. Also DuckTales. DuckTales is also an honorable mention. And lastly, Victor and Valentino. And that was Cartoon Network's attempt to make a show similar to Gravity Falls, but it tanked because I watched the show a few times and it's just too childish for me, I guess. There's not really much adult content in it, and it's just a boring, bland show for me. So that's it for today. And if you enjoyed this show, I'd really be happy if you would like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on it. Any videos you want to see in the future, anything you want me to do, and have an awesome day.